the red.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Words from the Nerds podcast. I know it's only been like a week, but for some reason it feels like we haven't talked to each other or recorded in a while. I guess it's just been a long week for me. Of course, joined by Aiden and Charlie today. We'll get to them in just a second. Make sure if you're new here to hit that subscribe button. Always you can like and comment. We read them aloud. If you have any questions, we will address that in the following episode. And if you're on a podcast listening platform, go ahead and leave us a nice 5-star rating. You know the drill. Do all the things. Brings us joy whenever we see high numbers. We like that. So the bigger the number, the more happiness that we will feel. I'm
And we crossed 1,000 downloads. We crossed 1,000 audio listens. Awesome.
We did.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Whoever binge watched every single one of our episodes, please comment. Like, please, we will literally bring you on here and ask you why you did that. Like, we appreciate it, but like, man, every single episode got to download those.
Yeah, literally somebody like listened through every single episode, which I was thinking about it. I don't even think you can listen to every single episode in a single day. We probably have hundreds of hours of content at this point, between 100 episodes, or maybe not hundreds, but a lot of hours of content that you couldn't fit into a 24-hour day if you just binged it. But
98 listens on June 10th, just June 10th.
Yeah,
that was it. So, all right, man. Hey, we'll take it.
Yeah. I'm going to start off today with Mr. Aiden, but before I ask you how you're doing, I just got to say that we might be beefing this episode a little bit. We might be beefing.
Ooh, okay. I like some beef.
News to me.
I like some beef.
So listen. I'll break it down real quick, and then I'll let you yap. So earlier in the week, we always send a text to the group being like, yo, when are we hopping in to record? And I was hoping, usual, like, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you specifically said, well, I'm watching F1 on Thursday, so we should do it after that. And I'm just a little pissed off because I'm going to stand 10 toes on this. I'm pretty sure that F1 will probably be my favorite movie of the year so far. And I've known that for like the last couple of weeks. I've thought that. And so the fact that you get to have it for our mid-year recap and I don't get to watch it for 2 more days, it pisses me off. I just gotta be honest.
Look, I'll be honest with you. After watching the movie, and I'll like save my thoughts. I don't know if we like bring it up next week after you watched it. I genuinely, look, I know you well enough at this point. I don't think there's any way it's not in your top 5.
No, I just think this is my movie. At this point in the year,
it is crafted for you. It is. I walked out thinking, I was like, Ben's gonna have a great time with that. Like, oh my gosh, it's great.
We got a little bit of beef, but other than that, how are you doing today, sir?
Oh, I'm doing good. As I said, I just stepped out from said screening just about an hour ago. Had a great time. Had a great week, actually. It's been fun to catch a lot of these releases. I can't remember the last time I've been on a nice little movie binge, but it's coming at a perfect time. It's coming at a great time because the month of July, I'm ready to be locked in. And I am kind of upset that Jurassic World is kind of not, reviewing well. I've seen a lot of mid thrown around, but regardless, it's not as if we don't have a stacked lineup still. So the movie binge is coming in at a perfect time. The Bear just came out. Watch that. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So yeah, I've just been on my media grind. I've just been consuming a lot, as I love to do. And then got some rounds of golf in this week. So all around, pretty solid week. It's been a pretty solid week. And so who am I to complain? I'm happy to be here. Happy to talk about the midway point of the year. I'm happy that I have a list that I think, regardless of anything else, I feel like I've watched everything that could possibly be here, is what I'm trying to say. In my top 10, my top 8, I don't think there's any other movies I could have watched up to this point that would have broken in. So you know what? I'm happy with that. The honeymoon came in clutch because I got to binge a lot of these and actually have a definitive spot for them and not wonder, would Mickey 17 have been in there? Would this have been in there? I got all my stuff out. Obviously, there's always more to do. There's always more to watch, but that's what we're here to talk about today. So I'm excited to get into it, and I've been doing good.
It's good to hear. Mr. Charlie, how you been?
I'm good, man. I mean, I'm starting to get a little bit sick. I
I
think.
could tell. I could
Yeah.
tell. You were either sick or you were like depressed or something like that. You never know.
Both.
Yeah, both. Yeah. I think it started like we've been sleeping with a fan because it's so hot now, and like it probably just dried me out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway, other than that, watching some stuff. Still watching that Animal Kingdom show I talked about last week. Well, mostly my girlfriend, not me. But haven't really touched the Switch 2. Haven't had time with all the stuff I'm watching. I've been recording my YouTube video. Oh my gosh, man, this one is so much longer. It feels like than the other one, and I've been doing it like every day, and I'm not even close to being done yet. So that one's gonna be a big project to take on, but having fun doing it for the most part. I'm doing it on the hardest difficulty, so like I'm raging quite a bit, but
So you're not finished with the game yet?
no, and that's partially because I've been doing a bunch of side mission stuff. I need to just because I wanted to get powerful enough, so now I need to start mainlining, so because I know
Yeah.
that I can do it. But yeah, I mean, lots of movies. I lied to you guys last week. I did not see How to Train Your Dragon that night, but I did see it on Cheap Tuesday. I didn't lie. I guess like that was the plan to go, but then my friends bailed last minute, so I was like, all right, bro. Then. I mean, I'm fine going to the movies by myself, but like it was already late, so I was like, I'd rather just go to sleep. So didn't go to that until Tuesday, but I saw it, and it's pretty good, man. I got chills quite a few times. I didn't tear up. I thought I might tear up, but I got chills quite a few times. I'll be honest, I might push back a little bit on you, Aiden. I don't see what you saw in Nico Parker in this, truthfully. I
Really?
don't.
I thought she
Yeah,
was great as Astrid.
she was giving Disney Channel to me, bro. Like,
Well,
I
I mean,
normally she's good, bro.
yeah,
But
the movie is very like
sure,
tropey,
the
but
dialogue
I,
is kind of hard to work
yeah,
with.
You
I
you
imagine.
compare that to Mason Thames though, and like he was really good.
Yeah, no,
that,
yeah, he
that
was
is
really
true.
yeah,
That is true.
Yeah,
That is
she
true.
she was fine, but everybody
sure,
else like they brought it.
yeah, and I
Interesting.
agree with that. Gerard Butler especially too.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff.
I'll take that pushback. All right, I'll take it.
Listen,
I'll
I
take it
still
on
like
the
Nico
chin.
Parker. I want that to be said, because like she was in the last one, she did a great job,
Yeah.
but in this, it was a little bit more like teeny bop. I don't know.
I
Like,
was
it
gonna
was weird.
ask. I forgot to ask last week if did this movie invent the trope of that's for almost getting us killed, kiss, and that's for everything
That's
else.
for
Like, did
everything
this
else.
movie invent that trope? Because obviously that's like a very memed line of dialogue in like kids movies. But I know the movie came out in like 2010, and so I was like, huh.
I don't know that I've really seen it in many other things.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
It's a good question. I don't know either.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to say.
The only other time, real quick, that I've ever heard that said was me and Charlie at Disney. He like for some reason was like, "That's for almost getting us killed," and then just kissed me. It was like
That was on the
Bro,
Ferris wheel. Yeah.
You're not supposed to talk about that, bro. I thought we said we keep that between us.
All right,
All right,
we'll cut
whatever.
it. We'll cut it.
Everybody knows. That's fine. We did have a comment from last week
Yes,
directed
I was gonna do
to
that.
me from Brandon, B Woody 94. Charlie, if you end up liking Breath of the Wild, I think you would love Tears of the Kingdom. I also think it's the better game, and that's so far what I've heard.
Wow.
And that's what I am fully planning on doing that.
Yeah.
That will be on the agenda whenever I can eventually get back to Breath of the Wild. I've heard that, and maybe Brandon, if you listen to this episode, maybe you can weigh in on this too. I've heard that you want to play Breath of the Wild quickly and then take your time with Tears of the Kingdom. So I don't know, but I'd like
That's
to hear some
interesting
insight on that.
Just because those games came out like what 5-6 years apart, so it's
Yeah.
interesting that people would even say that just because they waited so long. So
Yeah.
I don't know. If they came,
It's crazy to me. 2017 is when the first one came, and that's what I'm playing right
Yeah.
now. Is a 2017 game. That's wild to me.
you're saying like it's really good for a 2017 game, or what?
No, I mean, yeah, but not to say that 2017 was a bad year for games or anything. Like that stretch of like, I don't know, 2013, the entire 2010s was a wonderful time for games. Still now, even maybe too many games, but it's just crazy to me that I'm playing such an old game. And obviously it's the Switch 2 remastered version, so it looks pretty and everything like that. But yeah, good stuff.
I'm doing well. Been busy. personal stuff going on, but those things are doing well, so can't really complain about it. Just taking up some of my time. Otherwise, when it comes to watching things, I already told you guys this, but I still have made no progress on The Bear. So I finished season 1, and at this point, it's not going to be high on my priority.
That was a
like,
crazy voice message. I just have to say, bro. When you said,
what?
I'm gonna prioritize stuff that's more important to me, or stuff that I value. So that
No.
I was like, that means so far in The Bear, it hasn't clicked with you. Like you're not like, oh, I need to keep watching this.
No,
Like, that's
it's not
crazy.
that. I'll rephrase it. The way that I'll put it is, I know that we want to talk about Ironheart, and I'm caught up on Squid Game and care about the final season of Squid Game. So for me, I'm not going to try and play catch up on 2 more seasons of The Bear when these are like, I've only watched 1 episode of Ironheart, so I still have 2 more to go. I have a whole season of Squid Game coming out tomorrow. That's what I mean by priorities. It's definitely like, I still want to, but more immediate stuff that I'm caught up on or that I know we're talking about, I want to be there for that rather than putting that to the side just to get caught up on The Bear. That's what I mean by it.
Okay.
Probably worded it poorly.
Yeah. Give it the respect it deserves, man. That's all I ask.
No,
That's all
I
ask,
really
man.
love season 1. I did.
Oh, yeah,
What's
there
your
you
favorite
go.
episode
Awesome.
of the show so far?
I think you asked me this before, but it definitely was the final episode just because of Carmi's
The
speech.
Radiohead song.
Oh, I did
was
ask you this. I remember
phenomenal.
now.
Yeah, Carmi's speech. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal stuff.
Let it rip.
So, yeah, I was really liking the show, and I will continue it. I know that I will, but I need my schedule to free up, and I need less things that I like between big movie releases and then the shows that I'm caught up on or that we're talking about. I need a little bit of a break in the next couple months to get actually caught up on that. But
I will say I have not started season 4 yet either. That's why I didn't respond to your
really?
text. Yeah, I didn't.
Oh,
I have not started.
Interesting. I was going to ask. So I'll say real quick, just because I know the list update is going to be quick, and we won't have time to talk about the Bear till later. Back half of the season has been really, really good, and I don't have a lot of complaints. There is a little bit more of that season 3 issue underlying in there, and I think, like I said, a lot of that is Christopher Storer just wanting to make B-roll shots for literally, I kid you not, a quarter of most of these episodes, dude, are just B-roll shots with music playing. And it really feels like he's just trying to drag all of the conflicts and all of the things that we're dealing with this season to another season or to resolve it in the final couple episodes, because I've only gotten to episode 8. But even then, I've seen people talk about how it doesn't, like, some stuff doesn't get resolved. And so it's I don't know. The highs are a lot higher. The episodes, there's a lot more episodes in season 4 that I like compared to season 3. Like, the quality is there. It has elements that I love from the first 2 seasons, but it also is still riddled with flaws from season 3. Not what anybody wanted, not what anyone expected. But, like, if you're on the fence of this either has to be really good to keep me interested, or if they fumble again, I'm done. Me, at least, I hate it. It has me right in the middle to where I'm like, man, like, this is better than the trash we got last season, but there are moments that are as good and that have me crying, like seasons 1 and 2. Like, it's there, man. It's there, and it's just not capitalized, and it comes after 3 minutes of B-roll, or it comes in the back half of the season. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating, but if they land the plane, I'm fine at a 7.5. I mean, if I have season 3 at a 5, I think 7.5 is fine. But there's going to be a lot of people, and I think what factors into the Rotten Tomato score is there's a lot of people that expected a lot more, saw some of the flaws from season 3, and just ran with it. And the only negative reviews I've seen have just all been half stars. And I think it's because those people are just like, this is just like season 3. I'm done. So those are my quick Bear thoughts so far.
Yeah. And then other things this week, I watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 today with my wife. We're doing our MCU rewatch, and that's what we're on. Still think it's one of the more overrated MCU films. I mean, I give it a 7. Like, I still really like it. It's one of the funniest, but I just think it's pretty messy. Like, it's a lot of great moments, but they're not strung together very well. And then the other thing that I watched was I ended up watching the new Predator movie that came out on Hulu.
Nice.
which
Still need to do that.
which I guess this is kind of spoilers. It won't be brought up in our later discussion about this mid-year review. So I just want to say, I mean, similar to Charlie with How to Train Your Dragon, I just want to say I really enjoyed it. Conceptually, really, really cool. Way better than I thought. Not at all what I expected. And then also,
did you see the post-credit scene?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And then
bunch of nerds, bro.
also just like the emotional side of things, like I legitimately was tearing up, and like we can talk about it once Charlie watches it. We'll talk about it like outside of the podcast, but the fact with how this story is structured, and Aiden, you'll know what I'm talking about, but
yes.
to tear up halfway through the middle act and how short of a time we get with some of these characters, like that just speaks volumes to just the care that they put into it. I'm being very vague, but you know what I mean. Like the fact that I was tearing up at that was just like they cooked.
And I love, and that's why I said last week, I won't talk about the structure. I won't talk about because there's a moment where it hits and you're like, oh, I see what we're doing. And it is so cool. It is like one of the coolest things I've seen done in a movie. It was awesome. I love that quote unquote trope. And yeah, that we'll talk about the issues I had with it whenever Charlie watches it, because there were some flaws, but I mean, overall, man, gorgeously animated. It was just, it's one of the better movies of the year.
Yep. And then before we hop into our list update, just for the viewer's sake, if you want to hop around, you can use the timestamps on the YouTube video. We're going to be going through a list update. At the start of the year, we did a draft pick, and we're doing a little Rotten Tomatoes competition where we each got 5 picks, and based on their Rotten Tomatoes scores, we get points, and we're keeping track of that as things release throughout the year. After that, we're going to briefly touch on the next month of big releases, and then after that, we will be going into our mid-year recap. So, Charlie, if you will, hit us with a list update, the 2 big things being The Bear Season 4 and F1.
Yes, sir. So here is what we are looking at.
You
the
can
big changes.
I was gonna say real quick, you can go ahead and drop the Bear down to just 2 points, I think.
I did. I got it right here.
Oh, 4 points, 4 points. Okay, yeah, because that 70 dropped to 60, and I was like, yeah,
best believe I'm watching your stuff, boy. You think I'm gonna let you slide, dog?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
You dreaming. But
yeah.
The little updates that we have for the list this week go as follows. Last week we had the critic score for the F1 movie, but this week we finally got, I think this morning actually, we finally got the audience score. And the audience score is it debuted, I believe, at a 98%, but now it has since dropped down to a 97, so Ben loses a point from where it debuted. Yep. Now he is sitting at a cool 5 points with F1, which previously was Superman, which interestingly we should have the scores for that in the next 2 weeks. So it'll be fun to see if he made the right decision there. I'm gonna guess that he did, but remains to be seen.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy about that, and we'll still get a lot over this weekend. Like even if the audience goes down a little bit, I don't see it dropping below the 90s, and it probably won't go back up. Just usually with quantity, the average will stay around the same, so that won't change. But there's a chance that the critics does increase, although it has dropped today to like an 84, and it is release day, whereas it was like an 89 yesterday. So I thought it was actually going to go over into the 90s, but it looks like it might just stay steady, which if it does, that's okay. Kind of hoping that Andor pulls 1 extra point, and then I don't know.
Critics be tearing this boy up, man. They be tearing this boy up.
Yeah.
And then the other update we have for this week is finally Aiden's number 2. Well, not number 2 on his list, but just his second one of the year. The Bear Season 4 finally got its scores after I think all 3 of us were frantically refreshing the page and kept looking back and checking if the scores were up, and they finally got posted. And they, I think it debuted at a 74, the critic score. It is now since climbed to an 81, and then the audience score. What did it debut at?
The
It was higher,
the
right?
audience score dropped from the audience score in just today has dropped from an 81 to a 66.
Golly, man.
Yeah. I've been
Which
keeping my eye on it.
combined brings Aiden a whole grand another 2 points, just like his other one on the list, Mickey
It's
17.
yeah, it's just frustrating, man, because man, as I said in that text I sent y'all, Christopher Storer, I mean, buddy just wants to make music video B-rolls, and like it, it it's so frustrating because there are so many things we could be focusing on, and every single cutaway it feels like it's just another B-roll shot, and he's just trying to fill time, and I'm like, man, yeah, like I saw somebody say that he might have peaked creatively with season 2 and just kind of ran out of things to do and is just like buying time, and that's just exactly what it's felt like. Like there are hints of the greatness that was season 1 and 2, but 2 points is definitely not ideal, especially being a whole 18 points away from first place right now. It's impossible. I would need everything on my list to be at 290s at the very, very least, but then Charlie still has one project. So I said in the voice message, this would make or break if I even stay in it. Mickey 17 was just another one that had 2 solid 80s, both dropped into the 70s. And then the Bears doing the same thing. So, it's nobody's fault but my own, because I had Brandon telling me, I had Charlie telling me, just look, I don't know, if season 4 is bad, if season 4 isn't great, I'm done with the show. And I should have listened and realized that maybe other people felt that way. And as we've seen with the audience score, other people have felt that way. Because I personally don't think it's a bad season. It's definitely not as bad as season 3, but the critic score is higher on season 3 than it is for season 4. And again, I think a lot of that is just people watching the show needing another season 2 or bust, not getting that, and then just saying, yeah, this is bad, this show has gone to shit. I think that's what it is, which it might be deserved, because it's not one of the best seasons of television ever. It's definitely not the worst, but yeah, it's just it's worth its 2 points, if I'm being honest. So I don't know, man. It is what it is. I should have listened. I got a lot to think about for next year. We'll just ride the rest of the year out. I still got some projects to keep an eye on, and you never know what can happen. So whatever, it'll be fun. But ladies and gentlemen, waited a whole goddamn 5 months for that. So that's great. That's a lot of fun, seeing everything that I passed up on just, absolutely cook. And then I wait 5 months to see if I could still participate. And looks like at this point I might not be able to. So yeah, a bit of a bummer. It has not been a fun day for me. I was genuinely hurt about this. Like, I don't think y'all understand. I was so hurt.
I felt kind of bad. So we got the scores for the Bear, and then I was on Rotten Tomatoes, so I was like, I'll just check on F1, and that's when the audience score dropped with a 98. And so I just took a screenshot and I sent it to the group chat and said,
Bro said not to change the subject.
Anyways, bam! And it's just me getting another 3 points. Well, 4 at the time, but 3 points.
Yeah. It's not fun. It's not a fun spot to be in.
That's a bummer, buddy. It's a bummer, pal. I will say though, even after F1 debuting where it did, truthfully I'm not that worried. All I need is Wake Up Dead Man to do 80 on both critic and audience, and I'll be sitting pretty.
The only thing that I could see happening is that we get late in the year and somehow Invincible drops a little bit.
Sure.
Maybe. Sinners is going to stay in the 90s. Thunderbolts audience, I guess, could go down. But really, other than that, you're looking good.
Dude, and it makes me so mad, because you're literally dog walking us with 4 picks, man. Like, what are we doing, dude? You have 4 picks and you're dog walking.
I don't think we should sleep on Andor season 2 audience score going up to a 90. it's when the season first started coming out, I told you guys that I was pissed at Star Wars fans. It was at like a 76 or something,
Yeah.
and I was already dogging on them like, we're getting good Star Wars. You should like, this should not be this low. Up to an 89% now. So
Yeah.
that could give me another. F1 could give me another.
Yeah,
Pulling their head
it'll
out of
be
their ass.
fun. It'll be fun to see how
Yeah.
how the rest of the year shapes up.
I mean, because
Because
I'm kind of chilling now for the rest of the year, just hoping
not
things
only
go up.
Andor's audience score go up by 1 point, but the critic score can also go up by 1 point, and that's an
Yeah.
extra point
Yeah.
both ways. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're both teetering that line, and yeah, I'm here to be whoever wants me to be their hype man. Hey, that's what I'm here for. You could take my name off the
Yeah.
list, man.
I'm honestly just happy that my batting average is pretty dang good. Like all fours and
Yeah,
fives across the board at this point.
Surely there's
so
no way I
solid.
get another 2, right? Like, come
Twos
on,
across the board, baby.
surely. I don't know.
All right, we can
That
move
sucks.
on from the list, and I want to do a little section just because I was talking to my friend who I watched like all the big releases with. We were talking the other day, and he asked me. He just said like, "Yo, Ben, the next month we've got 4 big releases. That being F1, Jurassic World, Superman, and Fantastic Four." And he just said like, off rip, what do you think your ranking is going to be of those films? And since we're doing like a midway check-in, I just wanted to throw that out there as a quick little thing, like immediate thoughts. What do you guys think you're going to rank those 4 movies that we have coming up within the next month? Aiden, I know you have obviously seen F1, so that can inform your opinion a little bit. So Aiden, why don't you start us off? Just give a quick little list.
Yeah, and just to be clear, we're talking about F1, Superman, Fantastic Four, and what
Jurassic
else?
World.
Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? I could really see Fantastic Four if it lives up to the hype I have curated in my head, which, as we've seen from my list, has not been reliable. But in a perfect world where it is a great movie, like I'm expecting it to be, man, I have been waiting for so long for this movie. Like, I absolutely adore the Fantastic Four. And every time I go and watch a movie in IMAX and they play both the trailers back to back, Superman and Fantastic Four, I just like, I don't know. There are so many moments where I'm just like, this is just so good. I feel like I don't deserve this. I feel like I shouldn't be watching this right now. It like the fact that we're getting both of these movies, the fact that both of the trailers bring tears to my eyes every time I watch it.
That
Just
new trailer
so
is so
good, man. And it's so like shocking to know that we are getting both those movies in the same month. I just feel so well fed, so blessed. Fantastic Four, I'll rank like my most anticipated. I think Fantastic Four has to stay. I'm not the biggest Superman guy. I do appreciate him. I do love him, but Fantastic Four has my heart. I've literally been waiting for this since Marvel bought out Fox, and I knew that it was a possibility that we can get the Fantastic Four in the MCU. Fantastic Four, I'm obviously the most anticipated for. If it lives up to the hype I'm expecting it to, I think I could easily see it breaking into my top 10 for sure. Superman would be my second most anticipated. I mean, it's just, man, it just has it, man. It just has it. Everything I said about Fantastic Four, I like into Superman. I just am not the biggest Superman guy as I am a Fantastic Four guy. Still, honestly, could easily see it if it lives up to the hype I have in my head. Could still see it breaking my top 10. F1, not gonna lie, I already broke my top 10. I'll just leave it at that. We won't have to put any spoilers. It already broke my top 10. So I might put that one at 1 just because I haven't got the other movies, but you know what I mean.
Sure, yeah.
And then Jurassic World, yeah. I mean, if they didn't do that AMC unseen or screen unseen surprise screening, and there still weren't any early reactions out right now, I'd be a lot more excited for it.
Sure.
But unfortunately, hearing that it is pretty mid, I just the little bit of interest I had in it because of Gareth Edwards and because the trailers look so good has dwindled down a lot. And so I wouldn't be surprised if this was kind of like a midpoint in my list, maybe above Brave New World, maybe in between Brave New World and Novocaine. I don't know. I really can't see it being too amazing. for me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, hurts me to say.
Yeah. Mr. Charles.
Yeah, I'll be pretty quick. For me, just off rip, Fantastic Four number 1, Superman number 2, very close number 2. Honestly, between F1 and Jurassic World, I don't really like Jurassic World, Jurassic Park. I've never been like that a huge fan of the franchise.
Yeah.
But I don't like, I don't care for racing or anything like that either.
Dude.
So,
Hey, I'll tell
F1
you
would
what.
probably be at the bottom.
Neither did I.
There's no way.
Look, neither did I. Could not care less about racing, brother.
Hey, I hope
I don't
so.
either.
I'm seeing it tomorrow.
I don't care
I'm seeing
about
it
racing
tomorrow.
either. I'm in that same boat, but yeah. Dude, I guess I'm gonna have the most hot take of a list. My number 1 is F1.
Yeah, bro.
just
That's recency bias, bro. You're about to see it tomorrow. Calm down.
I don't see it. I see it Saturday for
whatever.
one.
You're seeing it in 2 days, whatever, bro.
I genuinely think like this is a movie made for me. I'm going to love this. I'm fully bought in, fully convinced. No matter what, I am going to love this. So I'm just putting it number 1, and I actually think it has a chance to be the best of all of these movies that we're talking about. I think I might have it ranked above the rest of these. I don't want that to be the case necessarily, but that's just what my gut feeling says. Number 2, Fantastic Four. Hoping it bangs. New trailer is like absolutely incredible. Like,
sexy alien.
Dude, it's one of those trailers where it's like we were catching the vibes from the first trailers. This one I feel like locked it in. Like, I understand even better what this movie is going for. The vibes are there. It looks amazing. It's just, I thought it was one of the best recent trailers. And I'm usually the guy who's just like, oh, Marvel trailers are usually great. This was a standout. Like, okay, this is actually a really good trailer. So,
oh yeah,
Fantastic Four.
Love to hear it.
Number 3 is Superman. Hesitant about this. I still think it'll be really good, and I think I'll really like it, but I have more faith in what I've seen from Fantastic Four, if I'm being honest. And a lot of that could just be the new trailer. I've loved the Superman trailers, but I also feel like I'm at the point where it's like, okay, I just need to see the movie. I'm just at that point. I'm ready for it. And then the bottom would be Jurassic World. I still could see it being decent, like a 6 or a 7. If it was a 7, like I'd be fine with that because like none of the other modern day Jurassic World films are close to that. Like they're so bad. So I'd be happy with that if this was, a lot of people are saying like it's the best one since the original. If that was the case, like, I'll be happy with it. And I'm just excited for another Gareth Edwards film because I like him as a director and all the stuff that he's done. But so seeing him tackle this franchise, I'm excited for.
Yeah, the scale of the movie looks really good. Like, I mean, he is just one for just like huge world building, huge scale. And so that's why I was like so excited for the movie. And like all the dinosaurs look cool. And like, this was like at least the little knowledge I have of the Jurassic Park movies, it seemed like a different type of adventure, like a different type of like journey they were going on with this movie. I was so excited for it, man. And, I still might check it out. I'm not going to like just take everyone's word for gospel, but we'll see. We'll see how it shapes out. It's definitely not like I hate this. I hate that this movie's reviewing bad. I'm not going to go watch it. Like, that's a great lineup of 4 movies that we have coming up here. And so like,
it is,
bottom does not mean bottom.
Yeah.
In this case.
I actually genuinely think this might be one of the best next months for movies. Just pure excitement. Like the Fantastic Four movie, the Superman movie, a Joseph Kosinski movie that's, about racing. That seems like it's going to do really well. People are loving it. And then a Gareth Edwards Jurassic World movie. Like that is such a crazy combo to get within 4 weeks. It's insane. So I'm gonna love this next month. I'm gonna love it.
It reminds me of like that run. I think it was March and April, maybe last year, maybe 2 weeks ago or 2 years ago, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I remember there was like a run where we were like, we had talked about it, Ben. I'm sure we talked about it with Charlie too, where we were like, man, there is something every week. Like there is a good, like a interesting, good movie every week. Now that I'm talking about it, I think it was 2023 whenever John Wick came out, because I think John Wick was one of the movies.
It would have been like John Wick, Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
like
when
around
did
that
John
time.
come out? Like around April. Letterbox on my PC doesn't show.
Yeah,
anything.
March we had John Wick Chapter 4, and then like the Super Mario Bros. Movie. This isn't looking like that stacked, to be honest.
There was oh man, there was one. It's unfortunate. I'll look while we continue with the episode. But yeah, I remember there was one little time period, whether it was last year or the year before, where it was just like, man, we got something every week. Like it's time to lock in. And so, but you know, I'm very happy that this is the case for us this year.
Yeah. It's gonna be a banger month. Really excited for it.
Yeah.
So moving on to the actual mid-year recap, what we are going to do is we will each have one pick for a few different categories. We will be doing the most surprising movie of the year so far, the most disappointing movie of the year so far, the worst, the best, and then finally one pick for our most anticipated movie for the rest of the year. So I believe Mr. Charlie has a little wheel to determine who gets to go first. So we'll figure out the order, and then we'll literally just be going one by one. So we'll each do most surprising, each do most disappointing, so on and so forth.
Yeah, let me have it set up here, but for some reason it deleted Aiden's name. Ain't that crazy?
Nah, we don't need him.
Yeah, bro. I'm cooked in the list update, so just leave me out of everything from now on. All right.
All right, let's find out.
Spin that.
Who's going first?
It's got to be me.
Oh,
Aiden, my boy, Aiden, my boy.
Okay.
I think
Surely we go alphabetical, right? We go hit the little ABC.
ABC. Wow, I never noticed that our names go ABC.
Insane.
That's
Chars. Yeah, nice Chars.
I should just click remove. I don't know why I didn't do that. No.
Oh.
Look at that.
All right.
Okay.
Aiden first, Charles second, myself third. We're not going to snake or anything. We'll just go in order each time. This actually makes sense just because it's the order of us on the call as well. So
Sure.
Starting off, Aiden, your most surprising movie of 2025 so far.
I don't know why I kind of feel nervous about this, man. I'm a little worried. My most surprising movie of the year so far. I've thought a lot about this because there's an absolute definitive answer. But then I'm also like, well, you know, it's kind of like unfair. Should I go with something that, like, you know, we've all seen? My most surprising movie of the year so far, and I mean this as in, had no idea this movie or the first movie ever existed up until the week or two before I watched it. And that is Niza 2, because it sits as my current favorite movie of the year. And, you know, we can get into, you know, stuff like that later if we are going to do our like most favorite movie of the year. That one stands, but, you know, I can talk about something else whenever we get there in case I just spoiled it. But, you know, what can I say? It's the most surprising movie of the year for me. That is also at my number one spot. So got to play it how it is. I'm giving you a genuine answer. I would also maybe say Sinners if I wanted to give you, like, you know, a little like, because genuinely I was so surprised that movie ended up being as good as it was. But Niza 2 was my most surprising movie of the year for me, mainly because I didn't know a thing about this. I didn't know how big it was in China, how big the first movie was. I watched the first movie. I actually had to like speed run watching the first movie because the showing was literally like an hour from whenever I got home from work. But I like the first movie a lot. I like the themes that it played around with. And then we went to the showing, and it was like 2 o'clock in the middle of the week. And it was so cool because the theater was almost packed with all Asian people. And I thought that was so cool that like people were just flocking to the theater because it's like something that was so big in, in their country, or, in the other side of the world. And it just means that much to them to go make this movie $2 billion. And then the movie
I was just checking on that, the box office.
it
That
just
thing
go,
had
and I think
motion.
it was like creeping up on 3 billion. So for a movie to do that and then just go right under and just quietly move along, but it's such a big deal over there, I think that's just so fascinating. And then obviously, watching the movie, I got out of there and I was like, I don't know, man. That might be the greatest animated movie I have ever seen, and I think I still stand by that. Like,
That's
just
crazy.
the themes that they play around with, the villain and his motives. I mean, it is such a charming movie, and I feel like everybody in here has an arc that they go on that is just so beautiful, and it all just makes sense. It all just clicks. Our characters go through the most gut-wrenching things, but they still hold their head up high, do their like Dragon Ball Z transformation. It is like there are so many beautiful qualities about this movie, and I haven't even touched on the action. Some of the best action that I've seen all year, not even just animated, but I can take it animated as well. Some of the best animated action that I have ever seen. So many anime like tropes in there in terms of like the way they fight. It was just like anything you could ever ask for in a movie. And I genuinely mean that. Like, it takes you on an emotional roller coaster. It leaves you in awe because the action is that good, and the character arcs. They like seeing Nija go from how he is at the beginning of the movie to how he is at the end. Oh my god, man! Like, I get chills even just thinking about it. It is such a gem of a movie, and it's crazy that it had that much of an impact on me. Because like I went through a slump earlier this year where I didn't watch a lot of movies. I think it was whenever I was trying to catch up on all the TV shows we were talking about. So I watched Niza 2, didn't watch a lot of movies, came back like in the past couple months and just like watched a ton of new releases. Didn't think once about moving Niza 2. Not even when Sinners came out. Like Sinners came out and I was like, no, like I can't. Niza 2 is it's just that good. So yeah, definitely my most surprising movie of the year so far, because I didn't know it even existed until a week before I went and watched it. So shout out Brandon for just like springing that on me and just being like, you're coming with me to watch this because I don't want to watch it by myself. And then we walked out 2 changed men. So yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah, I love that. I love it. I love it dearly.
Dude, that experience you're describing is kind of mirroring my experience with Everything Everywhere All at Once. It was literally
Yes.
like all of a sudden this movie is doing so well at the limited theatrical release that it was getting. I had never seen a trailer that like all of a sudden it was showing everywhere. And so I literally, as soon as it was available in the theater, I pulled a couple of my friends. I was like, you just need to trust me. We're going to this movie. Had never
Yeah.
seen a thing about it beforehand. And it like ended up going 3 weeks in a row, which is rare for me to do for a theatrical release. So those are the movies.
Yeah.
Those are just special. They're special.
Yeah. I'd ask. I'd ask a lot of you, or I would ask y'all to go through a lot of the comments on Letterboxd and just kind of see what the people are saying, because yeah, it's one of them ones, and I hope by the end of the year y'all are able to catch it so I can hear y'all's thoughts. And Ben, especially, I know you're a big action guy. You're also a big animated guy. Yeah, 99%. Audience score with over 1,000 ratings. So that means out of 1,000 people, like what, 10 people had something bad to say about it? I don't know how to do math.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's an amazing movie.
Yeah. Charlie,
are we going
surprising film
from
of the year?
Okay, surprising film of the year.
Yeah.
For me, not as exciting as Aiden's answer, but Companion for me. I thought Companion was I thoroughly enjoyed Companion. I even going it, and I still agree with you guys about like the reveal and having it be marketed that way, and I'm sorry I ruined it for you, Ben. I didn't know that you hadn't watched the trailers. But yeah, without knowing that, I think it would have been even better. It's not like a fantastically artful movie by any means, but I think it's a different take on like a thriller genre, I would say, thriller / horror genre that I kind of enjoyed. Slightly action, I guess. But I mean, Sophie Thatcher was great. Jack Quaid, I always love some Jack Quaid. And yeah, I mean, I don't really have like anything else crazy to say about it, but it was a joy, and I think it's understated how much of a joy it probably was. But yeah,
Interesting.
Actually, I kind of mess with that. No, I mess with that take because it's like I thought it was a good movie, and I would have expected them to really fumble it.
sure.
So, like that being a surprise, like I agree with that, 100%. Yeah.
Benji.
That's a good pick. That's a good switch up.
Yeah.
I mean, I think yours was a switch up just because you didn't know the movie existed. So I'd say it was a big switch up too.
Hey, well, you know what? Both of us, man. How about that? Love you, man.
Bro.
Hey,
All
can
right,
I
stop
join,
quizzing, pal.
guys? Can I join, guys?
Yeah. Come on, man. You can do
Yeah,
it.
we'll three-man this. Yeah.
3-way is what I prefer.
I'll be honest. My most surprising movie of the year. I'll eat my words. I have to do it just to be totally honest. It's Thunderbolts.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Just because of my history of being adamant about this movie and how they were not going to be able to nail the character dynamic. We weren't going to care about the characters. It was just a ragtag group of heroes. This being in my top 3 of the year still at this point speaks volumes. Like it's a great movie, and I was
You just spoiled his
completely
list a
wrong
little bit,
about it.
chat.
I didn't spoil my list.
You said top 3 of the year so far.
Yeah, we're not going through like a whole top 3 or anything. So,
Oh, I thought we were going through top 5. I thought that's what we were doing. I mean, it's all right. You picked with the heart, so that's all I care about. But
yeah.
I like this format, and then we can go through our top 5 real quick later. Like, just talk about like honorable mentions, whatever.
Yeah. This was just going to be like one pick. So like you get to pick the best movie of the year. You don't do like a top, but well, we can talk about random stuff later if we want to as well. So, yeah, I mean, I just got to eat my words, and I'm happy to. I said this, for as much as I've critiqued things before they come out and talked about things when it's just trailers or news or whatever, especially when it comes to Marvel, because I've been very critical of Marvel the last couple of years. I will be completely happy if every time I voice concerns, I'm wrong, because that means we're getting good stuff. So this project being great and being the most surprising movie of the year, totally happy with it. I was wrong, and that's a good thing. Like, I'll stand on that all day. Doesn't matter to me. I don't feel bad about it. I felt a certain way at the time, a few months ago, and now I'm changed.
You got to take more risks, man. That's how you win. That's how you win the draft, baby. That's how I'm going to win the draft.
I mean, I don't know. Not like Thunderbolts is really like carrying or anything.
Hey, it has 5 points. That is more than everything on your list almost. All right, calm down, buddy.
I have 2 things with 5 points.
Yeah, you have 2.
Your list is being carried by Invincible.
Like, because I can recognize peak, bro. Sorry, I can recognize peak, man.
Yeah, sorry, I get a pick first draft. Like, what are we talking about? Like, it's crazy.
You wouldn't have picked Invincible if you were first. Come on.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah. I told you guys after we went through it, I'm like, my list is the list that I would change if I got to do 5 in a row. Like, I would have picked all 5 exactly as I did.
Just you got everything you wanted. Yeah,
I'm a guy from the heart, So I'll
Except
take
for
all
Superman, I guess.
I'm just saying, I think I made a good choice. I know Brandon was a little like hesitant when I switched it for F1. He wasn't so sure about Joseph Kosinski doing a movie after Top Gun Maverick. Turns out I just had better instincts.
Yeah, I think it'll end up being the right choice for you.
I think so, yeah. All right, Mr. Aiden, what is your pick for the most disappointing movie of the year so far?
Most disappointing movie of the year so far. Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning. You know, I mean,
That's such a based pick. That's
Yeah.
such a good pick.
Yep.
you know, it was supposed to be the one. I thought Dead Reckoning was such an amazing movie. And even the others from this new, like, you know, kind of soft rebooted world. I mean, they've all just been bangers, dude. Like almost none under a 9 or like 8.5. So surely your final movie, your final hurrah is Ethan Hunt. Surely you can't mess this up. And then they went and messed it up. You know, I shouldn't. I feel like I shouldn't have walked out of that movie feeling like I wanted more, or, you know, not feeling like that was a great send off or that was a beautiful ending to, you know, this amazing franchise. And yet I did. And, you know, there's not a lot of like movies on here that I have ranked like lower that I was like, you know, like expecting to be great. The only two were, yeah, Mission Impossible and Mickey 17. But I think the bigger letdown for me was 1,000% Mission Impossible. There's no way Mission Impossible should just be barely edging out Ballerina. Now, I get that's just my list and that's just my take, but still, the fact that it's even down there and not upper or higher in my list, there's no reason why that should be. So Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, yeah,
Great pick. Absolute, like, came to mind to me almost immediately. It's not going to be my pick, but like, that absolutely is like probably the second most disappointing for me. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I would
shocked.
probably pick that one too, but to be different, I have a different answer. So,
All right, let's hear it.
I guess we'll just get into mine. Disappointing for maybe like different reasons than like the traditionally why you'd be disappointed in something. The Minecraft movie.
Dude, okay, I knew you were.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. Disappointed in the sense, like, I did not think it was going to be a good movie going into it. I did not have high expectations for it whatsoever. But disappointing in the sense that, like, you have such a rich franchise / IP here, and you wasted almost every element of it by either not using it or using it in a terrible way, or just like not including small little details, which are just like fun little nods to how the game itself operates. You know, it was, I guess, like a fun time at the movie somewhat because of like, depending on the kind of person you are with like the chicken jockey stuff, like that could be fun for you, with everybody screaming it out loud. Probably wasn't that fun for me. I don't think. I think I went on record here on the podcast saying that, like, it didn't come off as like end game type excitement. It just came off of like laughing at the movie and laughing at this whole thing and just kind of being obnoxious for being obnoxious sake. But you know, there was some funny moments, but like barely any, man. It was really rough, and I don't want to spend too much time on it because like it was, as a lover of the game, it was madly disappointing.
Yeah.
I mean, I still stand by the fact that Jason Momoa is incredibly hilarious in that movie, and that is the only redeeming quality. Yeah. I love Jason Momoa's humor, so you know what? I'll push back on that a little bit. I gave you a free pushback. You can give me a free pushback.
My main problem with it is more Jack Black. I think I'm tired of Jack Black's shtick, and I think I said that when we talked about the movie.
Yeah,
sure. So. Yeah, I'll be honest, boys. Those were my two picks. I'll go to my third just because, like, I literally would go Minecraft, Mission Impossible. I'll go to my third just, you know, to add something else on there. But same reasons as all you guys listed. The Minecraft thing, just being a fan of the game. And also, and we talked about this in the episode, just baffled at how there's actually creatives out there that sat in a room and this is the movie that they greenlit and then filmed and then released. I still don't understand. Like, how is that what Hollywood can do? I don't understand. I can't fathom that. So that to me is just like, it's such an offensive movie to me. Yep. To add a third, I'll just go with The Electric State.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Which, like, to be fair, I didn't have like super high hopes for.
Sure.
But in the context that we knew that the Russo brothers were about to come back to do more Marvel movies, it's kind of like, okay, they had a couple fumbles. They're doing the highest budget Netflix movie ever made, and they're about to start work on the Avengers films. You would think this would be better than a bottom 3 movie of the year. I mean, this is so
because you hope that it would be good to show that like
Yes.
the last few movies were just flukes, and so
Yes.
going into Doomsday you'd have more hope. But I 100%
So,
agree.
Same thing with Minecraft, how you got to step outside of the movie a little bit, and it's more of like from a game fan perspective, and you can still point at the flaws of the movie, but there's other reasons. This is the same thing, because this to me then pointed to what's upcoming in the MCU and ties into all of the other doubts that I've already been having. So for that reason, this movie sucks. I mean, it's just bad. So I'm upset about the movie, even though like, you know, it could be bad, and then the Avengers movies are fine. You know, that could happen, but still, just getting this from the Russo brothers, the biggest budget, stacked cast, it's just it's annoying. It's stupid.
Bummer, a little Electric State.
Yeah,
And I probably still will not watch it, unfortunately.
Save yourself, dog.
yeah. Don't waste a couple of hours. Moving on.
Make sure you still think Billy Bobby Brown is a good actress going into Stranger Things season 5.
True. Moving on to Mr. Aiden for your worst movie of the year, the bottom of the barrel.
All right. Well, I mean, we've talked about it enough, but the Minecraft movie would be my worst.
Really? Okay.
But to give a different, that way we're not talking about it 3 picks in a row. The movie I have above that, which I think is the second worst movie of the year, which again, I still don't fully know if this came out this year. I've seen different years for different websites, but I'm justifying sitting through this piece of garbage by saying that it came out this year. So even if it hasn't, don't even tell me. The Luckiest Man in America. I mean, just like the more I think about it, the more I'm mad that it even came out, or that I even like spent time watching this. Oh man, it makes me so mad to think about, because like there's one thing about biopics that are done over boring situations, but like I think Weird Al, like the biopic they did about him, they took so many different creative liberties, and it like ended up being such a fun time. But when you have this dude who figures out a pattern in like a Wheel of Fortune type of game and just like wins all the money possible for the whole movie, and that's it, like you can at least do something else, or like just don't retell the events 1-to-1, because it leads to a boring garbage movie like this was, because that's what it was, a boring garbage movie. Not fun at all. I'm mad even thinking about it. I'm mad that I watched this. Genuinely, I might even put this under Minecraft, honestly, because at least I like got to laugh and have a good time with Jason Momoa. So you know what? Yeah, this is the worst movie I watched this year. I'm making the switch right now. I'm not a big fan of this movie at all. Yeah.
My pick, it's kind of maybe not a great one, because I don't think you guys have seen it and will have a touchstone for it. I think Aiden roasted me actually when I told him I was going to go see it on an episode one time. Flight Risk, directed by Mel Gibson, with starring Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. Forgot about that movie.
What's the guy from that 70s show? He played Venom too. Topher Grace, that's his name. Starring all of them. And dude, it was probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Not just the worst of the year. Probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It tried to play so hard into the thriller action genre, and it just flopped so hard, and also wanted to be a comedy, which like you can do that if you know what you're doing, but like half of the jokes in this movie are bathroom jokes, like I'm gonna piss myself, I'm gonna shit myself, like that kind of thing. It's like, and that's tried to be played for laughs, and none of the stakes in this movie are here. They're not felt. They're not even. I don't even think there was probably an attempt to really actually try to make that felt by the audience, because it was just like, it seems like it could write itself. Like stuck on a plane where the only person who really knows how to fly it is the guy who's trying to kill your asset as a cop, and so you're just stuck after you tie him. Like that should the suspense there should write itself. But I don't know if Mel Gibson was also the writer on this movie, but
I know who was.
Awful.
Chat GPT.
Dude, I think actually
I only say that
was an
because you brought that
AI.
up.
Yeah, there was I think the opening shot of the movie was an AI shot of
weird.
of a hotel or a motel in the snow. Yeah. So
You should have watched Fight or Flight instead, to be totally honest.
was that good or bad? Is that about to be your pick?
Guarantee you that it would have been better than this.
Sure,
I give it like a 5 or a 6. Like,
okay,
entertaining, actually, like, can keep the pace going and is actually a fun time. Like when you first said Flight Risk, I was just like, wait, what? I thought originally of Fight or Flight.
Yeah.
But then I never watched Flight Risk. Yeah, didn't care.
I remember talking to Charlie because it was like the first week of the year, and I was like,
it was
I was like, you got to go watch. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on the name?
What was it?
Bob Dylan movie, A Complete Unknown. I was
yeah.
You have to go watch A Complete Unknown because me and my wife had just seen it, and I mean, we still like listen to Bob Dylan even now, and we had no idea. We had a fair idea of who he was before the movie, but I was like, dude, you have to watch. Like, it is like you probably won't like it, and it's not like it's not an amazing movie, but I loved it, and I was like, dude, don't watch Flight Risk. Just go watch like a literal Oscar-nominated movie and like an actor who is up for Best Actor of the Year. Go watch that, and he's like, nah, I'm gonna go watch Flight Risk. So you know what? I'm glad that it turned out to be that bad. And then
it's even worse
now
because
every
like,
time you look at your list, and you see it at the bottom, you're gonna be like, could have just went to go watch A Complete Unknown like Aiden told me.
It hurts really bad too because like Ben, my theater subscription thing does not include. Well, it includes one free ticket per month, but it's not like AMC where you can see 4 a week. So I actually wasted money on this movie. I didn't use my free ticket for the month, but it's just wasting money to actually go see it.
It's a free ticket, but you pay a monthly.
Yeah, monthly. It's 20, like what, $22 a month, something like that.
Oh, yours is crazy. That's
no. I was talking about AMC's. Sorry, I was talking about AMC's.
Yes.
That's okay. Yeah, for the unlimited. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd rather do that. I mean,
100%. Yeah.
Mine is like
just
over $100 a year, and it's
you pay yearly?
I do yearly because it saves you a month. Like,
sure,
it's cheaper by month.
I do monthly. It's like $11.09 a month, $11.99, something like that. I don't know.
Do you get discounted tickets?
I get online fees waived, and I get 25% off concessions. So
I get discounted tickets even like if I buy a group of tickets. So like IMAX tickets right now, typically if you just buy it like standard, they're like $16, $17 for IMAX. And because I have the account, they're like $12.
Okay.
It's like really nice.
Yeah.
So when I get tickets for other people, I'm saving them money.
Must be nice to have an IMAX, though.
I need to start upcharging them. But anyways. Anything else to add about that, Charlie? Or...
No, I don't want to talk about that movie ever again.
Okay. I mean, it's my bottom movie, so it has to be said. But my least favorite movie this year is Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare.
Oh, the horror one. Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah, what a shocker, right?
I forgot that even came out this year.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I watched the Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey movies the last couple of years as they came out. Kind of got this like weird just interest in like, what are these movies? How are they made? The public domain rights type of thing. Did a bunch of research, released a YouTube video based around it earlier this year. And as a part of that, I decided just during that time to also go and watch the newest movie in the Twisted Childhood universe, as they call it, which was Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. Actually, just today, I saw that they released the first trailer, or not the first trailer, but the next official trailer for the Bambi movie, and that's coming out here in like 2 or 3 weeks. It comes out in July. I'm not going to go watch it.
Okay. July's a big month for Ben.
Yeah. I will. That is not a priority for me. That is not a priority. The only reason I watched Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare was just the timing of releasing the video and talking about it and being more interested in it. If it comes to fruition that they actually are going to release a Pooniverse movie after these next two, where they build up to like a big cinematic thing, I genuinely am too fascinated to not catch up and then watch that movie. I will actually watch it. But
unironically said Pooverse.
I can't believe that phrase even exists. That just like pissed me off.
Yeah. That's literally the title of the movie. I'm not even joking.
Oh, that makes me so mad.
They are so self-aware that's actually the title. But Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, Step up from the Winnie the Pooh films. Well,
Oh,
maybe
okay.
not the second one. Like the second one, they got a little bit more budget, and so then like the horror and like the kills and whatnot, they could do more with it. But they're starting to feel more like real movies, whereas the first Winnie the Pooh is literally like it's like a fan film. It's like college students, making a film with zero budget, which it basically was, to be fair. That is genuinely like the situation, that they had almost no money and got lucky that it got picked up by popularity and they were able to show it in theaters. But this movie, yeah, honestly, the theatrical experience was more interesting because it had like one showing at my theater, like period. You could watch it on one night at one time. And so I went to go see it, and I honestly expected 0 people. And there was like 5 or 6 people. Like there was a couple in there and then a couple other random people. I'm like, I mean, I know I'm here, but who is choosing to come and watch this movie? I was so confused by it. But
it's teenagers that just need the most empty theaters so they can just like go get like, frisky in the back.
There was legit a middle-aged man in there. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
So it was a mixed age group and everything. There was a teenage couple in the back. I will not lie. I did not observe any frisky activities because I was too locked into this incredible cinematic masterpiece. But they were there. They were there. Yeah, this movie, it's bad. So, and just like for reference, the other bottom movies for me are Minecraft and The Electric State. So since we already talked about them, I'm fine throwing Peter Pan on there. That moves us into the best movie of the year. And if you want, we could do like 2 honorable mentions. So basically top 3.
Yeah.
So we'll do something like that.
Yeah. So as I stated earlier, my favorite movie of the year, the best movie of the year, and just to be clear, we are also doing the most anticipated like future for the rest of the year. Okay, cool.
Do that right after. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. My favorite movie of the year, as I stated, was Niza 2. I still stand by that. I don't think that will change. So I will throw in an honorable mention. This actually isn't my number 2 because I know the number 2 that I have will be talked about. This is actually my number 4, but I think I want to talk about it because none of us have talked about it. We probably aren't going to talk about it. 28 Years Later is my 4th favorite movie of the year, and I'm not afraid to say that it could interchange with my number 3 spot. It probably won't beat out Sinners, but
I gotta ask: is what they're saying about the alpha true?
Very, very true. Very true. Yeah, it was
my favorite scenes.
I was
you watched
I was happy. I was happy that
you did.
Oh, there you go.
I did.
Huh.
Let's go. I knew everyone was too quiet this past week that I was like, one of them checked it out.
Dude, I want to, but I'm too dead set on watching the first 2 films before it. But I also really want to see this in theaters, and I know it's going to get booted out in the next couple of weeks. Too many big releases.
I watched 28 Days. I didn't watch Weeks, which Brandon told me. He was like, honestly, you're fine. Just like watch 28 Days and then come watch this one. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
But there are gaps that get filled in like by context in the movie that like I'm assuming were touched on in Weeks, so it's fine. But yeah, 28 Years Later is my number 4 on my list. I might even think about moving that up. 1, 3, and 4 are so interchangeable, and just because I don't want to talk about like Sinners. Yeah, I'll talk about 28 Years Later.
Why not?
What a film.
What is that?
Because somebody has that at their number 1 spot. And if they don't, I still get to talk about 28 Years Later, which I'm fine with. 28 Years Later, what a movie, man. Oh my God, what a movie. It is genuinely so good. I walked out of there. I love the ending. I know that's been a very touchy point of conversation the past week and a half. I don't care. I absolutely loved it. That is exactly what I am looking for in these types of movies. This genre and this trope is so oversaturated, with, and granted, it's because 28 Days Later created it. So like we don't get The Last of Us without 28 Days Later. They found a way to make a zombie apocalypse movie interesting. The whole humans are the worst part of an apocalypse. But to see it evolve into what this movie had to offer, genuinely blew me away. It's some of the coolest horror that I have ever seen. Genuinely, or obviously some of the best horror I've seen this year. The ending I absolutely loved. It's again, I can't overstate it, like how awesome that ending was, and how excited it made me for the sequel. The Bone Temple itself, all of the freaking characters and all of the actors just putting on a masterclass. Man, it was so good.
All the actors putting on a prosthetic.
Yeah, prosthetics and master classes. I mean, the master classes were swinging around everywhere, dude. I tell you, it is such a good movie. I mean, there was something new for you at every turn. There was something more to chew on. Making these puns on purpose. Every single scene, there was something to chew on. It just always brought such a fascinating element to an oversaturated genre. Seeing 28 Days Later and just being like, yeah, cool, awesome, this is great. Not the biggest fan of this genre, but cool. And then going into this being like, oh my God, like this is what this looks like in the big 25. Okay, like I'm all for it. Genuinely blew me away. It's awesome. It's great. I said it sits at my number 4. It's interchangeable with the one in front of it, which I mean, we'll talk about the honorable mentions later. I think it's comfortable there. But yeah, depending on my mood, even just talking about it right now, I'd love to bump it up a spot. But yeah, regardless, I love this movie a lot. So this isn't my favorite movie of the year. I probably should have said that this was my most surprising, and then Niza 2 was my favorite. But since I botched it a little bit, I get to talk about both of them. Y'all know what I mean. 28 years later, yeah, what a film.
Yeah. Don't you have one more? Or did you already give 3?
No, I gave. What's your number 2? I gave Niza 2, and then I wanted to talk about 28 years later because those were my number 2. But my top 2, my favorite movies of the year were Niza 2 and Sinners.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, actually, I have 28 years later at my number 4 as well. Just to throw that out there real quick, because I agree. I think it was
That's surprising, actually.
Really well
knowing
done.
The movies that you've seen, I actually don't know what would be your number 3.
Materialists.
Okay,
I guess spoilers. My boy was in the theater. Oh my god!
Because I'm pretty sure I know your top 2, so I was like, did How to Train Your Dragon sneak in there, or like what are we? I didn't know what was happening, so I was curious.
Yeah. I'll also give my number 5 to Warfare. Just a little quick insight about Warfare. Like, it was great. I think it came in and told the story that it wanted to tell, and I think that it's I respect it heavily for that, for not trying to like turn it into like a straight action movie, but it had its message, and it came and told that message, and it left. Really good. 28 years later, I can't say anything that Aiden didn't already say. A lot of the interesting camera moves, which I filmed with an iPhone 15 Pro Max, which is a bunch of them, but still cool, still really cool.
I heard, I saw the rig, obviously, because that was making the news or whatever, and people were like, this was probably stupid. I heard about what they used it for, like not directly, but they said something about violence. So I assume it's almost like a slow-mo kill cam type of thing to be able to move and that just sounds
super
sick.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Sick.
It was really cool.
When you first see it in action, like I was sitting there and I watched it and I was like, oh okay. Oh my god.
And I've seen both 28 Days and 28 Weeks, but it's been a long time. I wanted to rewatch them beforehand, but I'm watching so many things and playing so many games, I just didn't have time for it. But if the alphas were a concept in those other movies, like, it's a crazy cool concept this time around. Like, I am someone who I love the zombie genre, no matter how like stale it might be. But they still found a way to make this even more scary for me. There's a specific moment in the movie with an alpha, which I had chills all over my body. I was like, dude, I am stressed right now. This is crazy. I have
to watch this movie, man.
You do, man. You'd like
it. It was quite good. Aaron Taylor Johnson, great as well, and even the little kid. I don't know the actor's name, but the little kid, he was pretty good too.
Yeah,
and Jodie Comer. Right? Oh my gosh, Jodie Comer. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, the little kid, man, he was phenomenal in this movie. Yeah. He was great. That's why I say literally
set him up for a crazy career.
Like Ralph Fiennes, if they wanted to give him an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, I wouldn't even be mad at it. Like I wouldn't genuinely. He's not in the movie all that much. Genuinely wouldn't be mad at it. They are that good in this movie, all of them.
And then my number two. Actually, let me talk about Materialist a little bit. You guys know I'm a sucker for love stories. Obviously, I don't think it's as good as
Past Lives.
Past Lives. Thank you. Obviously, I don't think it's as good as that. But oh my gosh, Chris Evans can still act, man. Like Chris Evans can still act. He can still have good projects. That made me so happy. There's a great monologue between Pedro and Dakota Johnson that I really, really loved in the movie. Actually, there's two, but there's one that I loved specifically more, or a little bit earlier on, maybe like the halfway point of the movie. But there's a little bit of like there's been some hubbub online about like the B story that happens here, but they kind of make it like an A story, and I don't want to dive into it too much in case you guys will watch it sometime. But I thought it was tasteful. I didn't think that it was. I think it was a nice twist to a well-worn genre. I think being rom-coms and everything like that. I think it was. It kind of. I don't think it completely threw it on its head, but it added some cool things that I enjoyed. Some good conflict, but. Number two, Thunderbolts. I love the hell out of Thunderbolts, man. Call me a popcorn movie shill lover, whatever, man. Like, I can gush about this movie all day. I'm not going to talk about it too much. Like, I still regularly go back and listen to the score. I just saw a TikTok about some guy made a TikTok about how Marvel doesn't make memorable scores. And this has been a discussion before in the past, but this guy made a funny little skit TikTok about, now, do you remember the Guardians theme? Do you remember
I saw that one. I saw that
yeah,
one,
yeah. And like, sure, he has some points, but like, I think it's being a little bit disingenuous because like, dude, Thunderbolts, bro. I can't, my voice is cracking. I'm sick, but dude, it's so fire, man. It's so fire.
It is. It really is.
And now, I mean, I guess that remains to be seen if we'll remember it. And then, of course, Sinners, number one. It's the second movie I ever saw in IMAX. I drove 3 hours to go do that. I still have the poster on top of my shelf over here. I need to hang it up. My first ever IMAX poster. Great movie. Still, that Music Through the Generations scene still gives me so many chills.
Yeah.
It is a wonderful film, and I think that I will revisit it regularly, which like is not a thing that I do typically with a lot of movies. With the exception of like, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I watched that one.
You should have went to Straw Hat Goofy's party, bro, that he threw. What?
Dude, Ben's not even in the know, bro. Ben doesn't have
TikTok
TikTok anymore.
but that sounds terrible.
Yo, chill, bro. I dapped that dog up. I dapped my dog up.
You're acting like we all did. Like,
chill, bro. Yeah, but mine was the best one, bro. The whole Comic-Con floor heard that dap up. Y'all are tripping, bro.
Yeah, they heard it 3 miles
Everybody
away
stopped
in the
and
same
froze.
room.
They were like, holy shit, bro.
Dude,
They are.
I just felt a tidal wave of aura.
Yeah.
Yo, notice that Aiden never brings up how he ran into a WWE guy anymore. It's like Aiden doesn't care. Aiden never cared about running into his little
honestly,
homie over
Aiden's
there. just
being humble. Like you're kind of low-key like bragging. You love
I'm
bringing it up.
I'm just chill like that, bro.
But like quick little rundown. Straw Hat. He did a juke joint mock Sinners party for a bunch of black creators and probably just black people he knows. That has nothing to do with what else I'm going to say. He's in some beef right now with another creator, and they're arguing over like comments and whatnot. It's so funny. It's so funny.
It's just like them standing in front of like 50 screenshots of like TikTok videos. So like
crazy.
the likes are like just echoed out. And
Yeah,
it's just,
dude.
Like, it's so I can't even read the caption. I'm like, what are y'all?
I
arguing
know.
about?
It's crazy, bro. I think they're done now, but they had like 3 different videos going back and forth, bringing up stuff
So
from
funny.
2022 with MBK and what Straw Hat said to him about like the shut up and dribble thing.
So in terms of real quick, this is like completely off topic. I won't name who it is. I'll tell y'all later. I saw this random tweet today that was like reaction, and y'all know like I've been reacting and posting.
Oh, I know who tweeted
for
this.
the past year.
I know who tweeted this.
Yep. And they were like, reaction stuff has absolutely ruined TikTok. And then the person that I thought we were cool with replied and was like, yeah, like trailer reactions are cool and whatnot, but like reacting to the whole like quarter of an episode and uploading it is just like so dumb. And I was like, oh damn, that kind of hurts, man. Like that's literally what I do. Like, and it's
Sure.
not like I like clip out like, oh, here's 3 5-minute videos and then here's the whole episode. Like I only clip out like cool parts or parts that people want to see. But I was like,
He
oh,
probably
man.
didn't have you in mind when he replied to that.
I know. I was just like, we're cool. We follow each other. Like,
Yeah, I think
you had to know a
sure,
little bit.
Sure. I think, but I think
So,
largely like you guys, he's a nice guy. So I think I don't know, giving him the benefit of the doubt, but sure.
Yeah. Well, I already unfollowed him off.
No way. Are you joking? No way.
No, not at all.
What?
I'm so petty, bro.
Oh my
No, look,
gosh.
here's my defense. This literally happened. I saw this right after the Bear Rotten Tomato scores came out. So I was already in a bad state of mind.
Oh no.
Like, whatever. I'm done.
Oh, dude, bro has had a day today. That's insane.
Yeah, bro. It's not been good. It's not been good.
Anyway. But yeah, Sinners is great. Love Sinners. And yeah, Benji.
Oh, sorry, I was just looking for this beef that Aiden's been in.
Hey, he didn't reply to anything. It's yeah.
No, but it didn't come up on my feed, so I was trying to look at people that Aiden follows that might stick out as like people that make sense. But you can just tell me later,
Yeah,
we don't need to let the people know the beef that's going on behind the scenes.
No beef.
So mine's gonna be kind of boring, to be honest, at this point. So I'll just list my top 3 and then I'll talk about one honorable mention just because I think it deserves to be in this conversation. And obviously, I just want to say 2 days from now, my favorite movie of the year will be F1. Like, let's make that abundantly clear. It will be at the top.
It's good to go into a movie expecting to like it. That is good.
I know, I'm confident in that. So that obviously shifts things a little bit. But my number 1 movie of the year is Sinners. Which actually, Charlie, I was going to bring this up when you were talking about IMAX. So that video that I sent you that you saw 2 weeks earlier on TikTok, whatever, explaining the IMAX difference, did that do anything like for you mentally, kind of like appreciating more of things? Because your limited experience, I feel like, has hindered you from being able to fully embrace it, whereas somebody who's like consistently seeing the back and forth. So yeah, I wondered if you had any thoughts on that.
I think the difference for me, mainly, like looking back to Oppenheimer when we all went and saw that, and that was in IMAX. Being on our trip, like I'm riding the high of the trip, right? Yeah. I'm loving. We're all hanging out. We're going to Disney every day. Yada yada yada. So like we watch Oppenheimer, we talk about it for that night, but we're all dead tired from walking around Disney all day, right? That experience kind of just goes out of my mind. Not that I think it was a remarkable IMAX experience anyway. Yes. With the exception of like the test scene. But comparing that to, and I think I said this after the first movie I watched back in my own theater after seeing Sinners in IMAX. And I saw the difference and I actually got pretty mad. I got pretty upset that I don't have an IMAX theater because dude, it was like just the regular screen is substantially smaller. It's
huge.
Not even IMAX, when it goes into before it goes into the IMAX stuff, like it's just generally bigger. And I was kind of floored by that. Because to talk about the Oppenheimer thing again, going on our trip, I kind of forget the IMAX experience there and how big the screen was. So then when I get home, and also I wasn't really going to the theater like weekly back then either. So then when I finally got around to make it back in my theater, I was like, I don't see a difference here, but I absolutely see a difference. It's night and
F1 in IMAX.
Dude, I can't wait.
Dude, just wait, man. Oh, in IMAX,
so
it's a freaking treat.
I guess as a part of that too, Charlie, is there anything that you're looking ahead and being like, I'm making the drive for IMAX, like Fantastic Four or like anything upcoming that like
Odyssey
is going to be worth it?
Ooh, I might have to do Odyssey. I never even thought about that. Maybe Spider-Man next year, but no, those aren't my actual answers. I had a plan initially to do Fantastic Four. I was gonna drive up to because since my dad moved, he lives up in Washington now. I was gonna drive up there, and they have IMAX theaters over by where they live, and we were gonna watch it together up there. But it's not in the budget this year. Just like going to Aiden's wedding wasn't in the budget. Nothing's in the budget this year. I'm broke boy season, so that's not happening. But it's unfortunate because I would very much
The
enjoy
trailer,
doing that or
the
Spider-Man.
the shots in the trailer that are shot in IMAX, dude, they're so good. Like the one where it's the overhead shot and it's Silver Surfer, I forget her actual name, but Silver Surfer comes
Shot on
in
the
and it's
ball.
like they're all standing in front of the wreckage and she's like, "Are y'all the protectors of this world?" That shot in IMAX, and then the one with all of them walking up in daylight with their suits on. Man.
Damn.
Dude,
I will not get to see it. I will not get to see
that's
it.
so sad. That's so sad. I only brought that up just because you watched Sinners in IMAX and wanted to get more of your thoughts on that. But Sinners is my number one. I went back and forth on number 2 and 3, but at the end of the day, I ate my words. Number 2 is Thunderbolts for me.
Hey.
Wow.
Wait, Aiden, is Thunderbolts even in your top 5?
Uh-uh.
Damn, you're a
Crazy.
fake fan. You got to see it early too, bro.
I'll tell y'all what's in my top 5 afterwards.
And then my number 3 is How to Train Your Dragon.
Sure.
I mean, I'm a sucker
Nice.
for it. Like, it will be passed by plenty of movies. Like the ones that we talked about, I see Superman, Fantastic Four, and F1 gapping it. You know, maybe not gapping, but at least being better. I would hope so. And we hashed all of that out last week. So if you want more of our thoughts on that movie, we talk about it there. So then just another movie that I wanted to throw on here because I feel like it deserves to be in the conversation, at least from the movies that I've seen, is the new Predator movie, Killer of Killers. Like,
Nice. It did creep in. Nice.
it's my number 4, but like I feel like it just has to be brought up because it's such a special movie to me. Like the amount of care that they put into it, the animation style, even just like there's certain sequences within the movie that's like you literally like can't film this and do it well. Animation allows it to elevate to such a high level of storytelling, of action, of everything. I don't know if you were the one who brought this up, Aiden. Wait, actually,
It
I
might have
don't
been
really.
Charlie.
I
Wait,
don't
were you
know.
going to talk about Unreal Engine?
No. I
Oh,
brought
okay.
that up last week.
You brought that up. Okay.
I was gonna bring up something with the story structure where there are acts that are weaker than other acts,
Yes.
and I think
Yes.
that they could have.
That's my big flaw with the movie. Yeah.
But they could have easily fixed that. So
Yeah.
that I'll leave it at that, just to not get too specific on anything. But
Yeah.
this for me, this is just like I've been trying to convince my best friend John to watch it just because he is not a big animation guy, to be totally honest, and then also like having to deal with any sort of subtitles and just anything like that. Like that's just not his thing. So I've been trying to convince him, just like, dude, give it a chance. To be honest, like this. Like it's a Predator movie, but this didn't need to be a Predator movie. Like you can take the Predator out and like, okay, pause. It sounds kind of wild, but the good things about this movie stand on their own 2 feet, aside from it being a Predator film. That's just kind of used as like a guide and it's a known franchise or whatever. And I do like what they do with that, but it could stand on its own, which is like the best part of it. So I just think, to me, that's one that just like it needed to be brought up as one of the best movies of the year.
Yeah. I had it pretty high. And then I watched 3 other things in between, 4 other movies in between them. And then I thought about it a little bit and ended up moving it down. It sits at my number 10. But here, I'll tell you my top 5 because y'all were thrown back by Thunderbolts not being there. So obviously, Ninja 2 and Sinners are 1 and 2. Ninja 2 is my favorite movie of the year. My third favorite movie of the year is The Ballad of Wallace Island. That's the movie I talked about. I watched on my honeymoon. Absolutely great. Like, it's such a good movie, man. I just can't put it into words. It's just one that you just have to watch and immerse yourself in that, in their character arcs. The writing is so phenomenal in that. Ninja 2, Sinners, The Ballad of Wallace Island, 28 years later, at my number 4. And at my number 5 is The Phoenician Scheme. Loved that movie.
See, that's
Really
the
liked
only
it a
take
lot.
that I like.
Yeah,
I haven't seen the
that's
movie,
fine.
but like it's a
Yeah,
Wes Anderson film compared to like
exactly.
the MCU's first like great film in what feels like a long time. Like I don't know.
Yeah. And I completely understand that. And I even have my buddy who I've been golfing with. He's a big movie guy, and he was like, "Yeah, I thought it was pretty good." And I was like, "Dude, I loved it." And he was like, "Yeah, I mean, I don't know, yeah, just Wes Anderson." And so that's all. I completely get that. It still works for me. I get that it doesn't work for a lot of people, and I get that this is like super low on a lot of people's lists. And like I respect it because like, look, I understand. Um, to me, it just hit a spark. Ben, do not like we're two different people. F1 is at my number 8 though.
That's fine.
But like, How to Train Your Dragon and Thunderbolts are the only two in front of it. So it's like, and I only have How to Train Your Dragon in front of it because I keep looking at How to Train Your Dragon and I'm like, all right, well, it is a perfect movie. It just so happens to be live action. Like, so I could even put it at 7, but
I'm not
genuinely, it's
mad
just
at that.
because I love everything else in front of it, and I think you will like it. Like, bro, it'll skyrocket for you. I think
Yeah,
you'll
no,
you'll
I know it.
definitely.
I know it's my thing. I know
Yeah,
it's my thing.
it's
I'm fine with that.
yeah, it's one of them ones. But yeah, so that's my top 5. Just in case y'all were wondering, Charlie, I'm telling you, bro, you have to watch The Ballad of Wallace Island. I feel like that's right up your alley.
All right.
You're probably right.
Next up, one pick for the most anticipated film for the rest of 2025, and I'll just lay it out there and like let's be real here. I don't think anybody should be picking Superman or Fantastic Four. We know we're really
No.
excited for the stuff coming out in the next month. Pick some things later on down the line, later in the year. Do something different, Mr. Aiden.
Oh yeah, different. I got, and that is because I'm a big biopic guy. I'm a big Jeremy Allen White guy.
Oh,
Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere. Very excited about this. Like obviously I'm excited for Marty Supreme. But like I also love going into biopics where I know well, I guess that doesn't make sense. I love going into biopics where I don't know anything about the person, but I also love musical biopics because I love to see how the actor portrays the songs and how they embody the person that they are acting as. And I haven't watched the trailer. I've heard a lot of good things. I love Jeremy Allen White. I would love to see him lead a movie like this. I think this could be the one for him. Like he's already a huge star, but like he was a brother in Iron Claw. He's a big TV show guy. Obviously, we talked about The Bear. We've talked about Shameless. I want to see him command a movie. I want to see him become a lead in a movie and just see what he got, what he has, because it could be something very special, and we could be here for like the beginning of it, because we already know he's a great actor, but how does he do like becoming another person for a movie, for somebody that already exists? Very excited for that one. Obviously, I'm excited for Marty Supreme, but I'm not going to pick something that's on my list. I'm not going to pick a superhero movie, while I am very excited for those. I'm very excited for that movie for a different reason, and that is the reason. That's got to be my most anticipated for the year.
I like that pick. Unique. Wouldn't have even crossed my mind, to be honest.
I try, my brother.
I thought it was going to be Marty Supreme like you were talking about, but
Nah.
I mean, I'll try not to make mine predictable like Wake Up Dead Man. But truthfully, I'm kind of, and this is weird because I didn't love Barbarian as much as you guys, but Weapons, I am very excited to see, especially after the most recent trailer. I mean, the first trailer was also really good, but the most recent trailer was creepy in all the right ways. So I'm excited to see what comes of the mystery in the town and whatever. It has a pretty stacked cast. I'm excited to see if I can enjoy this director's work. I didn't not like Barbarian, but I just didn't like it as much as you guys, I guess. So
Well, I mean, I'm at like a solid 8. I think the movie really fumbles towards the end, but I'll be
Hmm.
interested to see. And again, same thing with Companion. I know he produced it and he didn't like write or direct it, but same kind of format happens in Companion where I love it up until the third act starts to kind of just fall apart and get fantastical on me. So we'll see. I'm excited for
Say that
Weapons.
again.
Fantastic.
Honorable mention for me is Now You See Me, Now You Don't. I love the
Oh
Now
yeah.
You See Me movies.
Yeah, fire.
I know they're not all great. They're kind of just sloppy. Like they're enjoyable, but they're kind of just like throw it on in the background, whatever. If you're into that kind of thing, and but I'm a sucker for good heist stuff. So if it can channel that still, then I'm in.
Well, you know what? I didn't give my honorable mention, and I think I have kind of a hot take for this one. So let me derail the podcast real quick. My other most anticipated movie, which I thought about going with this one first, but ultimately I like the idea of Jeremy Allen White commanding the movie a little bit more. Wicked for Good. I'm not gonna lie,
Dude.
that trailer. That trailer is so good. And this is coming from someone who has outwardly hated on the first movie without even watching it. I didn't even watch it. I didn't want to watch it. I was just like, hey, get
This
that
is a,
out of here.
this is a crazy pick. I'm not gonna lie.
But watching that trailer, dude, man, like it gets me. It gets me every time. So I'm excited. I'm very excited for that one. And obviously I want to go for the. I'm still so anticipated. I'm like very excited for these movies. So it's not like my picks aren't valid, but I want to get away from like the Paul Thomas Anderson's new movie like Marty Supreme. Like I want to get away from those and give like more fun and out there picks. But genuinely, I am very excited for Wicked for Good because that trailer looks damn good, man. I'm not gonna lie. All right, Ben, take it.
All right. There's a lot of obvious picks I could go with, like Charlie mentioned, Wake Up Dead Man or Avatar Fire and Ash. So I'm gonna skip over those just because they're a little too obvious. And more so like I'm basing this pick off of a movie that I'm not sure is going to be good. Like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like the new Avatar. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like the new Knives Out movie. Those are safer known picks. So I'm going based off of like anticipation, as in I'm hesitant about these, but I'm really hoping that they slap. Like that is the hope, is that these are actually like great movies. So my most anticipated movie is going to be Tron Ares.
I forgot about this one.
I am a huge Tron Legacy defender. Absolutely massive. I love that movie so much. Don't care what anybody says. I love that movie. And so the fact that they were making a new Tron, I was all in. And then hearing about Jared Leto, I was out.
I was gonna say Jared Leto though.
And then seeing the trailer, it's like half peak and half garbage. And I'm really worried about it. The way that somebody explained it, that's just like, okay, this makes sense, but this sounds terrible, is basically it's the movie Pixels, but it's Tron. And obviously, I don't think it's going to be that stupid, but the whole thing is the worlds collide thing. Hate that as an idea, because what made Tron so good was being in the world of Tron for 95% of the movie. Like you start the movie and it's like 10, 15 minutes, and then you're just Tron the rest of the way through. Like that is such a good approach to it. So my worry is that there's going to be too much of this real world side of things. They're going to introduce like they do for a lot of like some action movies, horror movies, whatever, where you have a group of like cops that you introduce who are investigating and trying to figure out what to do and dealing with the legal side of things, just to like fluff things up. Whereas Tron Legacy, it's just like it fully embraces the world the whole time. It doesn't really let the foot off the gas, in my opinion. So I'm worried about it, but I am honestly just really excited to watch a Tron movie on the big screen, and I'm really hoping that it bangs. But I'm
Oh, yeah.
definitely hesitant on it. So we'll see.
I
I
like
like
that.
that pick.
Thank you,
it
thank
first.
you.
All right,
The
buddy.
the other pick as an honorable mention, this is This is a little bit of a deep cut. I'll be real. I'm going to go with Shelby Oaks. If you guys have heard anything about that, this is a horror movie directed by Chris Stuckman, who's a movie critic.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's been reviewing movies for a long time, and this is his directorial debut. It's gone through like a ton of production. He's gotten them to like increase the budget a bunch just to make sure that his vision was clear.
Yeah.
The stuff I've been hearing recently, I'm like, okay, this he might be cooking. But the biggest thing is that like when you take somebody who's a movie critic who literally has seen thousands of movies and it's their job to critique them, and you then say like, okay, make a movie. That to me, I'm like, I'm in, You should be able to make a great film because you watch movies and can tell what you like and don't like. And like generally, I would say a lot of critics, like generally people tend to have, it's a spectrum of how much people enjoy a movie. Some people really love certain things. Like there's always outliers. But in general, you kind of follow the bell curve of how good a movie actually is most of the time. So you can know just generally if he was, they're in post-production, if he sits down and watches this movie, he's enough of a critic to be able to be like, this is good, this is bad, and know where he went wrong. So I just feel like that opens a whole different lens to a person as somebody who's been consuming it for such a long time to finally be able to do it. Does that translate well? I don't know, but I wanted to give it a shout because I feel like I'll be really interested to check it out. And I'm more fascinated just like by the production side of it. To be honest, that's the main draw for me.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that one. I've talked to Brandon about it here and then. And I didn't watch a lot of his videos, but I was talking to Brandon and he had brought up the fact that he just wasn't reviewing movies he didn't like anymore because that process of like making a movie was so like, look, why am I going to talk about a movie that I didn't like? I'm only going to talk about the movies I liked. And if I'm not posting a video about them, it's because I didn't like it. And I really like that approach. Coming from somebody who I'm not going to sit down and turn on The Electric State. I'm going to turn on, a movie I've been wanting to watch for a while, or a good old classic movie, which you could argue is The Electric State. But I'm not going to go out of my way to watch, a movie that I just know I'm going to not like, or a movie that I know has a good chance to turn me away from it. And so I really respect that approach to critiquing movies. And so I'm excited to see what he has cooking. That'll be very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Bit of a deep cut pick. Honestly forgot about it and that it was coming out this year until I looked at the list just to make sure the list of movies coming out to make sure I was aware of everything. So yeah. Any final thoughts, any movies we didn't touch on that you guys just really feel passionate about for this mid-year check-in?
I think we've pretty much touched everything on my list. And if we didn't talk about it, then, it was all of the ones that were more towards the bottom. So yeah, I'm happy with this. I'm happy I got to talk about 28 years later. Cause going into the movie, I was like, man, there's a good chance I won't be able to talk about this if it doesn't break my top 5 next weekend. Lo and behold, it did. I'm glad I got to hype you up on F1. It's a great movie, man. I had so much freaking fun.
I was already there.
The action, dude. The action is jaw dropping, bro.
Yeah.
It is genuinely something different.
Ready.
So, yeah, I'm excited. I got to talk about everything I wanted to. I'm happy with my list. Yeah, Charlie, you got to watch Ballad of Wallace Island, and Ben, you got to watch 28 Years Later.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else. I don't think. I think this is. I don't even want to think about stuff like Minecraft or Flight Risk. So
yeah.
I'm glad that I'm done with them after this.
Yeah. With that being said,
halfway through.
With that being said,
win, baby, can't wait to win.
This was episode 99 of Words from the Nerds podcast. If you made it this entire way through, thank you all very much for tuning in. Next week is a very special episode. we did this for episode 50. We are doing a Not Jeopardy trivia game where Mr. Charlie and Aiden will be facing off head to head with a trivia board made almost entirely by me with the help of one of my friends, just to get some inspiration, make sure I was cooking something up good. I am very happy with how things turned out. And I'll be interested just to hear your guys' thoughts on, on the different categories, and then just the difficulty of things and structure and whatnot.
Charlie's
honestly,
gonna wax the floor with me. So just anybody listening at this point, do not expect any like masterclass from me. All right, Charlie.
Yeah, well, have some confidence, brother. Come on now. I believe in you.
I'm gonna fight tooth and nail, but just nobody be surprised.
Obviously, I can't say anything about the categories or the questions, but I think it'll be good. I don't know what to expect. We'll see. But that's very exciting. That's happening this next week. I honestly think we should do stuff like that more often, like every 25 episodes or something. We bring a guest on and one of us hosts and do a game show with a guest. That would be something cool. Obviously coming up with a full 25 question board where you come up with 5 unique categories and 5 questions it's
difficult.
It takes difficult. A lot. So even some of it is just like, there's some basic categories, but it's just kind of the way it is. So very excited for that. Make sure to tune in next week. And as always, if you're still here, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you all so much for listening. We will see you all next time very soon. Sayonara.
Adios.
Adios. Peace.